Okay, as we continue our discussion, let us now compute the total Rankine active force per unit length of the wall before the tensile crack. So basically, the formula to compute for the total Rankine active force per unit length of the wall denoted by P sub A before the tensile crack is equal to this equation, that is 1/2 gamma h squared times K sub A minus 2 C prime h the square root of K sub A. So basically, this is the pressure diagram that we are referring in the computation for the Rankine active force per unit length of the wall before the tensile crack. So this would be equivalent to 1/2 of H times sigma sub O K sub A. And basically, sigma sub O is equal to gamma times H. And now this equal to 1/2 gamma times H squared K sub A minus the area of this, which is H times 2 C prime square root of K sub A. So that is the formula to compute for the total Rankine active force per unit length of the wall before the tensile crack. So after the tensile crack, the force per unit length on the wall will be caused only by the pressure distribution between the depth Z equal to Z sub C and Z is equal to H. So basically, the pressure, the Rankine active force after the tensile crack is equal to this equation. So this is actually the pressure, this is the pressure diagram that you are referring, and you can compute for the Rankine, total Rankine active pressure using this, using the area of this. So that would be equal to 1/2 times H minus Z sub C times sigma sub O K sub A minus 2 C sub prime or square root of K sub A. Of course, sigma sub O prime is equal to gamma times H. And if we try to simplify, this is now the equation for our total Rankine active pressure after tensile crack. However, it is important to realize that the active pressure condition will be reached only if the wall is allowed to yield sufficiently. So the necessary amount of outward displacement of the wall is about 0.001 H2, 0.004 H4 granular soil backfill, and about 0.01 H2, 0.04 H4 cohesive soil about backfill. We have to take note further that if the total shear strength parameters wherein C and Phi are used, the equation for the active pressure can be in this form. Sigma sub O tangent squared times 45 minus Phi all over 2 minus 2C tangent of 45 minus Phi all over 2. So we have here a problem, a sample problem. A 6 meters high retaining wall is to support a soil with unit weight gamma, which is equal to 17.4 kilonewton per cubic meter. Soil friction angle Phi prime is equal to 26 degrees and cohesion C prime is equal to 14.36 kilonewton per meter squared. Determine the Rankine active force per unit length of the wall both before and after the tensile crack occurs, and determine the line of action of the resultant in both cases. So basically, we're going to compute for the Rankine active force per unit length of the wall before the tensile crack and after the tensile crack, and we have to determine the line of action of the resultant in before the tensile crack and after the tensile crack. So we are given with of course, for this equation, our angle of friction is 26 degrees. So we have to compute for the coefficient, the Rankine active coefficient, which is equivalent to, using this equation, that is equal to 0.39. So based on our formula, we have this equation to compute for the active lateral Rankine active lateral pressure. So we have to identify the values for this at certain depth. So it starts with at Z is equal to 0. When Z is equal to 0, so we're going to have our equation, which is active pressure when z is equal to 0 is equal to, so this will become 0, so you have this expression. So you substitute the value for C prime, which is 14.36, and our case of A is 0.39. So get the square root of that multiplied to -2. It gives us negative 17.95 kilonewton per meter squared. When Z is equal to 6 meters, so using this equation, the active pressure is equal to, so our gamma is 17.4 times our Z, or our H, which is 6 meters, and our case of A is 0.39, get the square root of that, then minus, this would be 2 times 14, for this one, it should remain as 0.39 times 6 times 17.4 minus, you're going to have 2 times gamma times cohesion 14.36 times 0.625. 0.625, of course, is the square root of case of A. When you try to simplify, our active pressure at Z is equal to 6 meters is equal to 22.77 kilonewton per meter squared. So the active force piece of A before the tensile crack, of course, you have this equation. You simply have to substitute the given parameters. So if you try to simplify, it gives us 14.46 kilonewton per meter. And the line of action, or the location of our active force before the tensile crack, using the our equation, so we can have here piece of A times Z bar, which is equal. So using the pressure diagram that was presented a while ago, we can compute now for the location of the resultant force. So as we have illustrated, we have a triangle subtracted by a rectangle. So that is the pressure diagram for that particular Rankine active pressure illustration. So basically for this is the area. This is the area for the triangle. Actually, this is the area of the triangle, and if you try to substitute the given values, this is now the equivalent value, which is 122.16. Then this is the area of the rectangle, which is, this is the area of the rectangle that was given a while ago. And when you try to substitute the values, it gives us 107.7. So area of this triangle times the distance from the centroid towards the bottom of the retaining wall, so 6 all over 3. Then this one minus the area of the rectangle times the distance from the centroid towards the reference point at the bottom of the retaining wall. So you simply simplify this one. So Z bar is equal now to, you divide this by piece of A, which is 14.46, and Z bar is equal to negative 5.45 meters. So this is the value for, this is the location of our total Rankine active force. So the active force after the tensile crack, so we're going to compute for the active force after the tensile crack. So you have to compute for Z sub C, the depth of the tensile crack. So you simply have to substitute the C, gamma, and K sub A. It gives us 2.64 meters. So from there, you can compute now for the active force after the tensile crack using this equation. This is the formula that was presented a while ago. When you simplify, you substitute the given values, you simplify, it gives us 38.25 kilonewton per meter. So if you're going to have the location of the resultant force, this is now Z bar is equal to, so you're going to have here, you can have this equation, which is H minus Z sub C all over 3. So basically this would be 6 minus 2.64 all over 3 gives us 1.12 meters. So this is the location of our Rankine active force after the tensile crack. So we have here another illustration. assume that the retaining wall can yield sufficiently to develop an active state. So determine the Rankine active force per unit length of the wall and the location of the resultant line of action. So this is our illustration for the retaining wall. There is the presence of water table. So we have to compute for, of course, from this illustration, our equation is 0 above and below the water table. So we have to compute first for our sigmas of A prime, which is equal to sigmas of O, case of A. So the active pressure is equal to the vertical stress multiplied to the active lateral earth pressure coefficient. And if we're going to compute for case of A at the top layer, using this equation, it gives us 1/3. And if we're going to compute for the lateral earth pressure coefficient at the bottom, it gives us 0.26. So you can have the values for sigmas of A, the active pressure, and you are going to tabulate that one. You can calculate using tabulation. So at a certain depth, 0, 10 negative, 10 positive, and 20. So for this one, this is above the, this 10 negative is the location is at the, when Z is equal to, at the top, when Z is equal to 0, this is the location for our active lateral earth pressure. This is now the location 10 positive, that is the location of the active force below. So for this one, at a certain depth, we can have the vertical stress. So that would be 0. This is gamma times H. So 102 times 10. So 1020. And for this one, this is actually above, this is below. This is the negative, this is the positive. So this is 1020. This one is also 1020. And for when this is 20, when Z is equal to 20, so that would be 102 times 10 plus 121 minus 62.4 times 10. So it gives us 1,606. And of course, for case of A, we have computed a while ago. For this one, this is 1/3. For 10 negative, is also 1/3, which this belongs to this layer. For 10 positive, that is 0.26. And this 10 positive is located here. 10 negative is located here. So 20. So this is also 0.26. And now we can compute for the active lateral earth pressure. So multiply the vertical stress times the coefficient of the active lateral earth pressure. So 0, 340, 265.2, and 417.6. And for the pore water pressure, we only have at a certain depth 10. So that would be, the rest are 0. So this would gives us 62.4 times 10. So 624. So after that, we can compute now for the area or the total force per unit length of the wall using the area. So we have here the area 1, area 2, area 3, and area 4. This was derived from our active lateral earth pressure. It starts from 0, you have 340, then you have 265 here, and 417. And of course, plus you have your pore water pressure, which is 624. Get the area of that, you can have now the total force. And you can compute now for the location of the total force, and that is equal to 5.93 feet. So that's our sample number 2.